Welcome everybody. On this video, I will show you how to fix this error. Windows cannot be installed to this hard disk space. The selected disk has an MBR partition table. On EFI Systems, Windows can only be installed to GPT Disks. This error message appears after clicking on the general error message that says, Windows can't be installed on drive 0 partition 3. This video will show you 3 methods to solve this problem without disk formatting and without losing your data, but before showing solutions, you have to know why does this error message appear. Usually, this error appears if you are trying to install Windows 11, Windows 10, Windows 8, or older Windows operating systems, specifically if you have booted from a bootable USB that has a GPT disk scheme, while the internal disk has an MBR disk scheme. This error indicates that the legacy is enabled or the compatibility support module is disabled in your BIOS settings, as the legacy mode supports only a bootable USB created in an MBR disk scheme in order to install Windows. On the other hand, UEFI mode supports only GPT disk scheme. So if the UEFI mode enabled in BIOS settings, you will fail to install Windows from a USB created in MBR disk scheme unless the CSM mode is enabled, and you will see an error message saying that the selected disk is of the GPT partition style. For more details about the differences between legacy and UEFI modes, refer to video description and associated link from our blog. Now you can select the suitable solution that fit your situation using one of the following methods. Create a bootable USB in your mobile that supports both GPT and MBR systems. Recreate a bootable USB and MBR file system if you are using Rufus tool, converting the computer disk scheme from GPT to MBR and then enable UEFI mode in BIOS settings. The first and second solutions are easier and safer than the third solution, as the later need more attention to avoid losing data. However, converting internal disk to GPT as instructed on third solution is an expert's favorable upgrading, because GPT scheme has many advantages over MBR scheme, such as boot speed, number of partitions per disk, maximum size of each partition and many more features. In addition, Windows 11 doesn't officially support MBR scheme. First solution, create a bootable USB in Android mobile supporting both GPT and MBR systems. To create a hybrid bootable USB using your mobile, do the followings. Download Windows 11 or Windows 10 ISO file from official link in video description. Install Ventoy app from links in video description and start it. Connect a bootable USB to your mobile and allow Ventoy to access it. Click Install button to make the USB as a bootable device and to copy the required files to the USB. Navigate to Copy tab and then press on plus icon. Go to Mobile Storage and load the downloaded ISO file of Windows. After that, boot from the USB drive and install Windows as usual. Second solution, create an MBR bootable USB using Rufus tool. Download the Rufus tool and start it. Connect the USB drive to the computer. Select the USB drive if not selected automatically or if you have more than one device connected. Click on Select to load the ISO file of Windows from computer. Change partition scheme to MBR and then click Start to start flashing process. After that, boot from the USB to install Windows without error message. Both Rufus and Ventoy tools are available for free, but all data on the USB will be deleted when using either tool. Refer to video description for more details about creating a bootable USB using Rufus and Ventoy tools. Third solution, convert disk from MBR to GPT without losing data. Before converting your disk from MBR to GPT scheme, you have to confirm that your computer supports UEFI boot mode, by opening BIOS settings or by searching Google for your specific model. To open BIOS settings, do the followings. Power on the computer. Press F12 or another hotkey immediately and repeatedly to open BIOS settings menu. This is the list of hotkeys that can be used to open BIOS menu. Navigate to boot menu or to advanced menu and see if there is any option called boot mode or if there is any setting called UEFI mode. The boot mode settings may take another name or another path, however, the UEFI or EFI option should be the same if it's supported. If you change the boot mode to UEFI before conversion, all available MBR disks will disappear, and the computer will fail to boot with black screen error. If UEFI present, leave BIOS settings as it without changes, and then boot from the USB to convert your disk to GPT as followings. Press Shift plus R keys to open CMD. Type disk part and press Enter. Type list disk and press Enter. In my case, the size of the disks indicates that the disk number 0 is the internal disk, and the disk number 1 is the USB drive. In addition, the USB has a GPT disk scheme as indicated by asterisk under the GPT column, while the internal disk has an MBR scheme. Select the internal disk using this command. Cell disk 0. If you have more than one disk, select the disk you want to install Windows on, according to its total size. Type list part and press Enter. If you have more than 3 partitions on the selected disk, you have to delete one partition, because you can't convert the disk to GPT if the disk has more than 3 partitions. But before deletion, take care of the followings. Copy your files to another partition as followings. Press Shift+R keys to open another CMD window. Type Notepad and press Enter. From File tab, select Open option. Click on this PC icon to show your partitions. Copy the entire partition that you will delete or just copy the important files to external USB drive. The copy progress notification will not be shown, but unresponsiveness of mouse cursor is the indicator that the copy process is still on progress. Make sure not to delete Windows partition, boot partition, or recovery partition, because converting the disk to GPT without formatting will fail when deleting one of the mentioned partitions, and you will lose all data on the disk if decided to convert the disk using another method. In my case, I identified the disk to be deleted from its total size, but you have to identify all partitions using dir/a command to show their contents. As you can see, the C partition is reserved for boot files, as indicated by boot folder, the D reserved for Windows or system files, as indicated by users, program files, and Windows folders. The E is the recovery partition as indicated by recovery folder. And the F partition is a storage partition in which I stored my files. Refer to video description for more details in how to differentiate between all partitions. Select the partition that you will delete using cell part command followed by the partition number. In my case, I will delete partition number 4, using this command. Cell part 4. Type this command to delete the selected partition. Delete partition. Execute list part again to confirm that the partition was deleted. As you can see, I have only 3 partitions after deleting the 4th one. Type exit and press enter to exit disk part. Type BCD edit to determine the letter of Windows partition. In my case the D is the Windows partition, so I will change CMD path to System32 folder using this command. cd/dd:\Windows\System32. Now, execute this command to convert the disk from MBR to GPT without losing data. MBR to GPT/convert. As you can see, the disk is converted to GPT as indicated by the successful message. After converting the disk to GPT, your computer will not boot into Windows normally unless you rebuild the BCD file. Also, you can't go back to MBR without losing all data on the disk. Now, open BIOS settings as you have seen previously. Navigate to Boot option and change boot mode to UEFI. Back to Security tab and enable Secure Boot. BIOS settings and boot options are different from computer to computer based on firmware or hardware manufacturer. So you have to search for boot and related options in all panels, or search Google to see how to change boot mode in your specific PC model. Navigate to Exit panel and click on Exit Saving Changes option to close BIOS settings. After that, boot from the USB, so you can install Windows without errors. Refer to video description and associated topic for more details about converting MBR disk to GPT and related errors. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, leave a comment and subscribe.